Over 200 enemy reconnaissance drones have been destroyed by the fighters of the 3rd Assault Brigade in the past month. Russian UAVs, which were adjusting fire on cities and strategic targets, are being eliminated by domestically produced FPV drones and interceptor aircraft. They showed their laboratory, where they improved tools for fighting Russians in the sky and trained pilots, to TSN correspondent Daria Nazarova.
The Holy of Holies, the drone laboratory of the 3rd Assault Brigade. In addition to the usual FPVs, the guys here reprogram and upgrade fixed-wing UAVs that destroy enemy reconnaissance drones in the sky. For example, this is the Ukrainian-made Arvin plane.
Or Arbalet, as the fighters also call it. It can reach speeds of up to 190 kilometers per hour. It takes down enemy reconnaissance drones, even though its design is quite simple.
It can be assembled in 3 seconds. Attach the wings, insert the battery, put on the antenna, and it's ready to fly. It is launched simply by hand. Just toss it and it takes off.
Another Ukrainian innovation is the Taras plane. This drone is capable of destroying enemy drones even behind their lines.
It possesses an exceptionally simple and straightforward control system. Its video transmission capabilities are robust, and its assembly process is remarkably quick and easy, allowing you to launch it very rapidly and effortlessly fly it even 20 or 25 kilometers away. And in those distant areas, you can effectively target something significant like a supercam or, as they previously mentioned, an arbalet.
A bunch of small parts, a 10-inch FPV, and an energy drink on the table because he says he hasn't slept all night. This is engineer Mark's work desk. In civilian life, he's a florist. He first picked up a drone just a few months ago. Since then, he has learned a lot.
Today, I only left here at 6 in the morning and then came back to this workshop a couple of hours later.
You worked all night?
Yes, we work for results. So you have to learn how to do this, quickly adapt to the situation, and probably just do what needs to be done.
The workshop has a class for novice pilots, where fighters learn to detect, identify, and shoot down Russian reconnaissance drones.
On these simulators, there are UAVs with artificial intelligence, so if it detects an FPV drone behind it, it starts maneuvering, diving, or veering off to the side.
So everything is reality?
Yes, everything is just like in reality.
We also tried to catch an enemy reconnaissance drone.
We can fly after the Varlin. Basically, it's circling not far from here, but we need to gain altitude.
10 minutes of flight and not a single hit. To succeed, you need to spend more than an hour on the simulator. Everything comes with experience, says Schnaps. The 23-year-old sergeant has quite a few destroyed targets to his name.
There are Lancets, Varlins, and even 2 supercams.
The guy in military since 2022. He survived occupation of Hostomel and defended the country.
My dad didn't want to let me go until the very last moment, so I had to improvise and told him I was going to Kiev to hang out with friends. That's it. Yeah, and I said I might stay overnight, and the next day my dad calls, "Where are you?" And I say, "I'm already in Zaporizhzhia getting my kit." And my dad went to the front line.
Schnaps is a real ace, a confident soldier with the call sign Rika.
Schnaps actually managed to snag a Gerber. You know, it would be really cool if I could eventually reach that impressive level someday.
The girl mobilized not long ago. She says she originally planned to be a sapper, so that after the war she could do humanitarian demining.
The war is ending, but we still have so many minefields like this.
But now Rika is a UAV operator and has already been on combat missions. In the crew, she can work both as a drone loader and as a navigator.
I'm already keeping a little table for myself, you know, where we were, which missions I took part in, what kind of combat it was. In some of them I was just the loader, but my drone, the one I loaded, made it to the target, so that's good.
The rookie pilots are finishing their training and getting ready for their first combat flights. Meanwhile, their experienced comrades have shot down more than 200 reconnaissance drones of various types over the past month. The main thing, they say, is to have enough resources to keep fighting. Daria Nazarova, Ivan Koroshko, Zaporizhzhia, TSN 1+1.
An explosion at a Russian chemical plant. A large-scale incident occurred in the Perm region, 1,700 kilometers from the border with Ukraine. A factory is on fire, which is one of Russia's largest producers of nitrogen fertilizers. In particular, this includes components used in the production of explosives. Local authorities have admitted the plant was attacked by Ukrainian drones. However, they claim that the factory only temporarily suspended operations and is now functioning as usual, with no threat to the population. Nevertheless, footage from the scene that made it online shows a significant fire. 5 people were injured in the Kherson region. The Russians shelled 35 settlements there using various types of weapons. 2 apartment buildings and more than a dozen houses were damaged. In Zelenivka, an enemy shell hit an apartment building. And after the Russian artillery attack on Kherson, a 20-year-old man was hospitalized with blast injuries. One person was killed and 4 were injured in the Donetsk region. In Kostiantynivka, the Russians killed a civilian and wounded 3 residents. 9 private houses were destroyed and 2 apartment buildings were damaged. In Raiska, an FPV drone attacked a truck. The driver was wounded. In Kramatorsk, the enemy used 4 drones to strike a transport company and a driving school. In Zaporizhzhia region, the Russians attacked the Komishuvaka and Kushuhum communities. They launched 4 high-explosive aerial bombs and FPV drones at civilians. A woman and a man were wounded. 17 settlements came under enemy fire over the past day. As a result of enemy shelling of the village of Novoselivka in the Kharkiv region, a man was injured and a farm building was damaged. A private house in Derhachi was also destroyed. Buildings and outbuildings in Lozove and Prokopivka also came under fire. In the Chuhuev district, equipment warehouses were damaged. The enemy attacked the Dnipropetrovsk region with both Shaheds and missiles. A fire broke out in Dnipro, and in a nearby settlement, 4 private houses were damaged. In the Sinelnikov district, windows were blown out in a 5-story building, and a private home also caught fire. A new drone attack in Europe. Due to an unidentified drone, Munich airport in Germany was forced to suspend its operations. The first reports about drones reached the police around 10 in the evening. To avoid endangering aircraft, the airport's operations were initially restricted and then suspended. 17 flights with nearly 3,000 passengers were unable to depart from the airport. Additionally, 15 planes that were supposed to land were redirected to other cities. Law enforcement was unable to detect the drones or even determine their exact number. They also did not catch those who launched the drones. Meanwhile, it became known that previous UAV attacks are under investigation. German investigators are looking into the possibility that a vessel from the Russian Shadow Fleet may have been involved. A similar vessel was present in the Baltic at the time of the attack. Earlier, the media reported that drones may have been launched from Shadow Fleet vessels. This theory is now being investigated in other countries as well. According to the analytical portal Deep State, Russian forces are advancing rapidly toward 2 regions, Zaporizhzhia and Dnipropetrovsk. Advancing from Donetsk region, they have captured 3 settlements and achieved successes in the area of 2 more. In particular, they have occupied the villages of Berezov and Kalinivska and have also advanced near Vorone. This is in the Dnipropetrovsk region. They also captured the village of Olhivske in the Zaporizhzhia region and advanced in the area of Novoivanivka, where fighting had been ongoing for a week. Overall, during the past day, the enemy attacked most intensely in the Novopavlivka and Pokrovsk directions. Almost half of all combat clashes took place there. Across the entire front line, our defenders repelled 162 assaults, according to the General Staff. The aggressor terrorized the border areas of the Sumy region, as well as communities in the Mykolaiv, Kherson and Zaporizhzhia regions with airstrikes. In response, the defense forces struck 4 areas where enemy personnel were concentrated. And now about enemy losses. Here are today's figures from the General Staff. In the past day alone, Russian occupiers lost 970 soldiers killed and wounded. Since the beginning of the full-scale invasion of Ukraine, the Russian army has decreased by 1,113,500 soldiers. Our defenders have also destroyed enemy equipment. In the fighting, 11,225 tanks and 23,297 armored combat vehicles have been destroyed, as well as 33,413 enemy artillery systems, over 1,500 multiple rocket launch systems, and 1,222 air defense systems. 66,093 tactical level drones and 3,793 cruise missiles have been neutralized. To date, 427 Russian aircraft and 346 helicopters have been shot down. And at sea, 28 ships and boats, as well as 1 submarine, have been neutralized.